Good of you to come, 007. We've been expecting you. On this week's Bond Report. Time to dust off those video game skills. And that's what we're here to talk about today. We're gonna break down the trailer, we're gonna look at all the images and find out all the little Easter eggs that Tilting Point and Eon may be giving us with this brand new game, Cypher 007. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bond Report. My name is Chris, aka the Bearded Blofeld. If this is your first time here, welcome. I do weekly content reviewing anything related to James Bond, be it movies, music, video games, or more. So if James Bond is your thing like he is mine, please consider subscribing. And I always appreciate a thumbs up. Let's dive in. So we've got 8 images that they released, including just like the presentation image. So the first image we're gonna take a look at here is actually the subway station, and this image, it doesn't give us much, but what it does give us is a clear understanding of the layout of everything. So again, we've got that top-down kind of view, and then to the left, you've got like a D-pad on the screen, and bonus, you actually can connect a wireless controller. So if you have a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox or just a Bluetooth controller, you can use one of those on your iPad, iPhone, or on Apple TV through your television. So the layout we're gonna see here is gonna show everything with the touch screen controls. The top left, we've got our map. The top center, you can actually see the little gray icons. That is your health meter. Over to the right, you've got all of your action buttons. And what I love seeing, guys, is we've got gadgets here. And we're gonna have to figure out how to use each one of these gadgets in order to complete the mission. My favorite, it shows the watch. Then we've got a set of cufflinks. And from what it looks like it's a compass, but this could be something else, and we're gonna get into that later. But obviously you have the ability to crouch. Then you have like a tuck and roll mechanics where you can like dive out of the way and dodge enemies or other items. And then of course you have your attack, which is just a big giant fist. This screen just gives us the layout. And it says, take down Blofeld and escape the mine trap. So some people are actually speculating that escape the mine trap is actually like the secondary name of the game. So it could be like Cypher 007 escape the mine trap. Apple hasn't confirmed that just yet, but I can see where some might think that. Moving into the next image we have, this is gonna show Bond. It says, gather intel and uncover secrets as you play through immersive levels. Now, again, we get all of that same information. We've got the map, we've got the D-pad, the health bar, but over to the right, now we're actually seeing, not only does he have the watch, but he's also got like this little, it looks like a grenade kind of a thing, and we're gonna get to that in a little bit, as well as a pair of glasses. And I love these because at first, when I first saw these, I thought, oh my God, we're gonna get the flashbang glasses from The World Is Not Enough.
Perhaps you failed to take into account my hidden assets.
And we may still, but I think these are something a little less deep dive Bond nerd. With this screen, we can see, if we zoom in, we see Bond, he's actually standing over top of that tarped kind of area thing. And it looks like he's got some folders in front of him, and then there's like a little icon, and it's like a microchip is hovering. Obviously, with the game, you're going to be tracking down things, you're gonna be searching rooms. This is all gonna be part of the stealth, espionage, spy type mission where you're gonna be gathering that intel, like they say. Moving on to the next image, we have something that reminds me very, very much of almost like Batman, where he had kind of like the sonar vision. And I think that's what the sunglasses are, because if you look here, you can see the sunglasses have switched locations to the bottom left. And I almost wonder if that is your prime, like whatever one you're using, that's where it's gonna be located, is at the bottom left, so you know which one you're on. Now, if we zoom in on this image, the cool thing, you actually see like a ventilation duct where he could like sneak through, and then right above that, there's a little key icon. It's right next to, it looks like the pause button. So clearly finding keys to get into certain doors or access certain rooms is gonna be part of these missions. And I love the fact that they are including things like this. Next image, and this might be my favorite one they released so far. This is actually Bird 1, and you are inside Blofeld's volcano lair. And I love the fact that they've got the elevator, all the details are there, the staircase going up to it, but it clearly says explore the world of Agent 007. And Blofeld's lair obviously is a very key part of that world. Bird 1 is going to be a major element in this game and I'm excited for it. Unlock and upgrade epic gadgets and gear. Clearly this is Bond, he's talking with Q. It looks to be Moneypenny based off of another image. It looks like that is her in this scene. But come on guys, we get little Nellie. This is so exciting. We've never really had an opportunity to actively fly little Nellie. We get some cars, we get some classic gadgets or flying levels like this. This game it's already sounding like it's gonna be pretty robust. Defeat iconic 007 villains. Now the one at the top, we all know and love. That's Jaws, of course. Middle one, you know I got a soft spot in my heart for Blofeld. Now the bottom one has me perplexed and I want you to comment below who you think this is. But more importantly, let's read what the caption says. It actually says, "Hello James, you could have saved both of us a lot of trouble if you had just surrendered back at your flat." I want you to remember that because that could come into play and this could be an all new villain that we're gonna get in this game. And then one of the last images here shows partner with allies to take down Spectre. And we're clearly gonna get Q in the middle, Moneypenny at the bottom, and if I had to take a guess, I would say that's definitely M at the top based on the fact of the desk alone that's behind her. So zoom in on that real quick and you can clearly see that's the desk. I thought the gentleman may have been M at first, but if you zoom in on him as well, you see the archways like we saw when QLab had to move in Spectre and they were underground and they had those same archways. So, and then Moneypenny's desk, you know, that just looks like an office. She's Moneypenny. Like, who else is she gonna be at this point? Okay, that's the images. Those are all great, but let's get into the actual trailer where we see some action happening. And if you wanna watch the trailer in full time, I'm gonna leave a link at the end of this video so you can check that out as well. Yes, we get an all new gun barrel, completely new animations, no blood in the trailer. Now they could have left that out for age restrictions or just because it's the advertising, but I'm excited we got a whole new gun barrel. That's kind of cool. And it looks really great. Cypher 007. Very first room we see 007 in, he's running through some type of mansion. And I love the lighting mechanics that they're using because the light is actually shining out of the windows, casting shadows on the ground outside. Right here, we can see that button I was talking about earlier where you hit that and he does like a tuck and dive roll. That's exactly what's happening here. It looks like he's jumping between two landmines. And if you look, he's going towards a table, but in the background, you can see like a red ring icon. And it looks as though he is definitely trying to get away from some landmines. This next section looks like he is absolutely inside that same mansion and he's found like a keypad that is red. As soon as he activates it, it goes green and the door opens up. So clearly gaining access to different rooms, this isn't just gonna be a wide open map. You're gonna have to go and hunt things down and come back and memorize the map a little bit. So now he's outside and it's like he's coming into this compound, but you can see at the bottom over on the right, he's got that grenade looking thing selected in his hand and it's creating like an arc so you can aim it directly at the villain or the baddie that you want. So we definitely see him lob that grenade over into where there's a bad guy. This is gonna be a whole new level of fun right here, I can already tell. Next up, we actually see use of the sunglasses where he's using it as like that sonar, radar kind of vision, if you will. Two bad guys are highlighted red, as they should be, and it looks like Bond is trying to access a computer in this shot. Now this next scene, if you actually look at the ground around him, it clearly looks like he is in an underground level at this point. No windows shining outside of any kind, and I actually had to rewind this clip a couple times to figure out what's happening. He is shooting something. Now this could be the watch that he's shooting. It could also be that compass looking thing. I'm not sure exactly because they don't show the menu icon off to the right. which tells us somebody's using a Bluetooth controller. But he is taking out a security camera. So that is what he is shooting in this scene, which means that's one more element that they are adding into this game. I feel like every scene I get to is one more thing. This could be a full-fledged game. Now these next two scenes, we see Bond in that crouched position, and when he's down like that, at least from here, you see that spread, and that spread is gonna be the distance or the visual path of the enemy. So clearly you wanna stay out of those like quarter sections, like there's like pie wedges, because if you get into one of those pie wedges, that means the bad guy can see you. But what's even more exciting here is Bond is walking up to a table, and if we zoom in, what's on that table? It's a drone. That's gonna be a lot of fun, and there's a clip coming up showing that. But what has me more excited than anything I've seen so far in this, look in the action menu. Over to the right, what do you see? It's the taser cell phone. I hope they bring that back so bad. It could just be a taser. I don't know, we don't see the cell phone part, but I really hope it is the cell phone that is also the taser from Tomorrow Never Dies. And then inside the room that Bond is standing in, we also see a little red pack sitting on the table with a white plus sign. And we all know that's a clear indicator that's a health pack. So being able to rejuvenate your health is gonna be an option in the game. Next up, we see Bond crawling through one of those ventilation ducts to access another room. Looks like he's underground still. And then this one had me super duper excited. I had to pause to figure out where he was at because I couldn't really tell. But if you look at the archways, just like we see back when we saw the image of Q, he's actually in Q Lab. And he hits that power switch on the wall and boom, what lights up but a hidden room we couldn't see before. And man, do I hope we get some driving levels in this game. So now we can see from that clip earlier where we saw Bond talking with Moneypenny and Q, he's climbing into the actual little Nelly gyrocopter. He's gonna be taken off, and what's the next scene? Look at this. We have a full-fledged war going on. It looks like this could be on Spectre Island, it could be somewhere else, but if you look down at the right menu action buttons, everything has changed, and it's all the weapons from Little Nelly, so that's awesome. We get to fly her around. I don't know there's ever been a video game where we've gotten to fly her around. I don't know. If you know of a game where you have, let me know down in the comments. I'd be curious to see which one that is. And again, if we pause here, you can clearly see at the top that that line has gone down and it's red. That's why I'm leaning towards this is absolutely a health bar. But this looks great. You get to have a dogfight with Spectre helicopters, Little Nelly, and from what I can see, there's even missiles on the ground. If you look off to the left of this, there's like a blue square that pops up, and it looks like there's like ground to air missiles that you're gonna have to defeat as well. So this looks like it's gonna be super fun, guys. And finally, we get to see Bond in action doing some hand-to-hand fighting. We get to see the animations of what it looks like of him throwing some punches as he's down in the subway with another villain. Followed up, we see Bond in the spacesuit from You Only Live Twice. And if you pause it, right behind the action menu off to the right, you can actually see the Spectre monorail that goes around inside the volcano lair. Oh my God, I can't wait to play this level. This looks like it's gonna be so much fun. And when you're dressed as the astronaut, the other bad guys don't notice you. So there's also this hidden element that could also come into play in many other levels. And it's funny because that kind of reminds me of the Hitman video game, which is ironic because the guys who made Hitman is IOI Interactive, who are also making the other James Bond video game, Project 007. And no, just like you, I haven't heard anything about that yet. They've had raps on that for so long. They're still hiring from what I've gathered for people to work on it. So fingers crossed we get that in the next year. And here it is. That drone was on the table, now it's in the air. And clearly we are the ones in the cockpit on this one. Next up, we see Bond inside of a gas chamber and he's shooting a much more powerful weapon. And you can see underneath the map, it says destroy the gas canisters. This could be some type of gas chamber, maybe a timed mission where you have to destroy the canisters in a certain amount of time, or obviously you get gassed and Bond dies. We get an awesome pan out of Bird 1 here, and we finally get to see what Bond looks like in this new animation style. And of course he drops a one-liner. I don't suppose the rocket comes with an instruction manual. Now this is the second to last shot, and I really want you to hone in on this one with me, okay? Look at this room. We're gonna zoom in. There's a refrigerator, there's an oven, there's a sink, there's a dishwasher. I think, and if you recall back to the image we looked at with that one nameless villain saying, you should have given up in your flat. I think this is Bond's flat. I think that we actually start the game in his flat with Spectre trying to turn him into a rogue agent with some type of mind control. I think that's where the whole escape the mind trap comes from. And there's 3 bad guys coming in at Bond. So I gotta think this could possibly be Bond's house, and that would be a cool element because it's not very often we actually get to see Bond's digs. But of course he gets the upper hand on them and he drops what looks to be a flash grenade, which again, we can't tell in this shot because they don't have the action icons to the right. But this could be the sunglasses acting as that flashbang. And then we get the final image of Bond walking in to confront Blofeld.
Good of you to come, 007. We've been expecting you.
Fade to black, coming soon, September 29th this year, Apple Arcade. What do you think? Are you gonna be picking it up? Guys, I'll be honest with you. I have the Apple One subscription. It's $16.95. I get iTunes, I get Apple TV, I get the arcade with there's over 200 games on there, including Castlevania, which I love. To me, it's worth it. $16.95 a month. I get a lot with that. It may be worth it to you, it may not. But for 1 month, you'd have access to the game. Something to consider. Let me know down in the comments. Are you gonna be picking up this game come September 29th? And if you would like to support the channel, the best way you can do that is to go visit my merch store. You can get this shirt here, and I have many other designs, including my brand new design, the Baja, which for all you Diamonds Are Forever fans out there, I think you're gonna like that one a lot. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, Merry Christmas, 007.